Hello guys, and welcome to day 11. We're going to get stuck straight into the subject of today's video, which is what coaching actually looks like. And as I've put in the title, and I've put very purposefully in the title, this isn't a sales pitch. I put that in there because I think a lot of people think, oh, he's going to tell me something about how amazing it is, and at the end he's going to pitch me some program or try and get me on a call or whatever like that, and that is genuinely not my intention. The reason I'm doing the video that I am and the podcast that I am today is because I had a fantastic nutrition consultation with someone yesterday afternoon. And we ran through everything, and at every point throughout the nutrition consultation, I sort of have checkpoints. Checkpoints where I'll ask if they have any questions about what I've covered, because I like to give as much value as I can. I think the vast majority of people who are in the industry, for lack of a better word, that I am in, the sort of, let's just call it the wellness space, health, wellness, fitness, nutrition, whatever you want to call it. They're in it because of passion. Now, they may have originally gotten in it because of money, but I can guarantee you that the people who have stuck with it for longer than, let's say, a year are not in it for the money, because that's a hard slog. You absolutely can make a living from this industry, otherwise it would die on its arse, but it's very difficult. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of sharpening the axe, I would say, to kind of find the problem and the person that you're trying to help. And as a result of that passion can come out quite like a tidal wave sometimes. It's a basic mistake I used to make a lot is I would jump on a call, I would have a face-to-face conversation with a client in the gym, and I would just want to help as much as possible. I would just want to tell them everything immediately in the first 5 minutes. And that overwhelms a lot of people, particularly people who are new to having a coach, whether that's a personal trainer, a nutritionist, whatever it may be, in person and online. And the real skill isn't just having the knowledge, because there's plenty of people out there who've got fantastic knowledge who are not qualified and qualified. And I do qualification in the air quotes, more so on the personal training side, because anybody who has done it or knows people who has done it will know that the personal training qualification is quite literally a joke. You can do it in as little as 6 weeks. And it was quite funny, actually. The training provider I used, it was called PT Collective, highly recommend it to anybody, run by a great guy I think he's in South London, called Luke. And he actually said during the modules in his coaching of the modules are set effectively by a governing body, not by him, because everybody has to conform to a certain standard. And he said a lot during the coaching, right, I've got to teach you this, but it's complete bullshit, but just put that answer in the test. So I've got a lot of respect for that. He's teaching what he needs people to teach to pass the sort of qualification, but also telling you not to listen to it. And I think the vast majority of people who were learning on his particular course were pretty well versed in the industry, and they knew what was BS and what wasn't. The other thing you'll tend to find is I think pretty much, I can say with certainty, 100% of people who get into the industry, they don't go to the gym once and think, right, I'm gonna be a personal trainer. I would say that, I can't say the average, but I'd say they've been training for at least a year, if not 2. I mean, for me, I'd been training for 10 years before I would, if you'd have said to me at 25 or 26, because I'm 36 now, Jesus. If you said to me in 10 years time, you're going to have been a personal trainer and nutritionist for 5 years, I would have been like, you are on crack, mate. So all these points I'm making are to say that the people who are in this industry are coming at it from a point of passion, not from a point of money, particularly if they've made it past that first year. Because that first year, even if you have some insane social media following, let's say you run the usual route, you go on Love Island, you come off Love Island, you're in decent shape, you get the qualification, you launch an offer. Yeah, you will make money initially, maybe on the first burst, but because it's probably your first time around doing it, it's not going to be a great product. And that's no discredit to anybody who's done this, by the way. It's just because it's rule of thumb. It's your first go. And the first time I did anything, it was sucked. I'm still, working on my product all the time. But the first time you do it, it sucks, which means you're not only is your conversion rate only going to be like 0.1% of your following, right? The sort of people, the guys or the girls who stick with it is going to be very, very low. Your retention rate, if you like. So even if you've got that huge social following, you're not probably going to make millions or 100K or what's the 10K a month or whatever it is, people, you know, the aspirational figure that floats around the internet. So the people who've made it through that first year, the people who, they're the passionate ones, they're the ones who you should probably listen to the most, because they're the ones who actually have the best intentions for you, I would say. And the reason that's important is because when you jump on calls like I did with this nutrition consultation, a lot of people, and this person wasn't the only one, pretty much I'd say 95% of them, particularly on the nutrition side, they don't really know what to expect, okay? Because when someone is talking to you about a coaching product, the natural assumption is training program and, you know, meal plan or calories and macros or whatever it might be, right? But that really is like 10% of it, because someone who has never qualified as a nutritionist or a personal trainer could give you an insanely good workout program, and they could give you the right calories and the right macros. And if you are one of these very few people who listens, trusts, and executes without fail, brilliant, fantastic, you'll get the result. Absolutely, box ticked, congratulations. But the vast majority of people, that isn't true. They come into it and they don't necessarily need, they need the training program, they need the nutrition, but what they need, the 90% of it, is up here. It's the mindset side of things. They need their brain effectively rewired. I think I've done a video on, have I done a video on this? I've either done a video on this or I've imagined that I've done a video on this. Tells you a lot about my life at the moment. Jesus, that is a little bit scary. But you need your mindset rewired, and a lot of that, sorry, I completely lost my place there. Let me get it back. 3, 2, 1, Doug's back in the room. A lot of that, I think, starts with people come into this and they have a lot of dogma. They have a lot of entrenched viewpoints. And they assume that this training program, this specific exercise or this specific order of exercise is going to solve all their problems, or this specific meal plan is going to change their life. That isn't true. That what we're describing there is methodology, and what sits above that is the principles. And really, what 90% of good coaching is, I think, comes down to 3 things. I think it comes down to education, accountability, and empowerment. Because underneath those 3 things, you've got all your stuff like your training program, your nutrition, your motivation, all of that sort of stuff, all that good stuff, which is absolutely important. But if you're educating someone, if you're empowering someone, and I suppose empowerment comes through education, and if you're holding them accountable, that to me is what good coaching looks like. Because come back to the basics, right? Let's say you say, Doug, I need a training program. Or a lot of people will say, I need your training program. I need your meal plan. Okay, right. Well, first of all, I don't have a meal plan. 20 seconds before I started filming this video, recording this podcast, I was having a dry bowl of Special K. I'm a weirdo. Like, I eat like a freak. There's no magic in Special K. I just come back from the gym and I had a bowl of blueberries, a bowl of dry Special K, and a protein mousse yogurt. You don't want my meal plan, trust me. But I understand the principles of nutrition, and I can work that in to come up with something that's unique to me that works for me. And that, I think, is what a good coach is going to do. They're going to come up with a program and a plan that works for you. So you don't want their meal plan, their workout plan. You want something that's actually going to work for you. And this is kind of what scares me a little bit about the potential to really scale a coaching business. Because how let's say you had 10,000 people who actually wanted your product, not 10,000 followers or whatever, subscribers, 10,000 people, not even 10,000, but 1,000 people who wanted your service, your coaching. Genuinely, like, it's a good problem to have, but how the bloody hell do you actually service them? Because I can't give 1,000 people the same training program. There's probably not even 10 training programs that I can put them into, because like I said, 90% of this comes back to the mindset side of things. Because if you don't really understand why you're doing something, I don't think you're going to stick to it. And this client yesterday, they actually said that to me. We got to the end and I said, how was that for you? And they said, that was better than I thought it was going to be, because I thought you were going to give me a meal plan, but actually you've educated me. And I was like, that's exactly what I want to hear, because that is so much more powerful than just a training program and just a meal plan. 90% of this comes down to that mindset element, the accountability, the education, and the empowerment. You know, the stuff that I go through with my guys, the very first sort of module, if you like, on my program is entirely mindset focused. Entirely. It's about shifting value systems. It's about installing a unlimited source of motivation and self-belief, because people think it starts and stops with self-belief, and that there's a layer underneath it, which is the first thing I go through with my guys. And then we get into the detail of training programs, and then we get into the detail of I'd never give anybody a meal plan, but of nutrition and, you know, what calories we want you to be aiming for and why. And the last point I'm going to make on this is, nothing is forever. Your goals that you're reaching for now may not actually be the goals that you want. And what I mean by that is, people come into it and on the face of it, they think they know what they want. And then they get into it and they're like, you know what? I actually don't want this. I thought I did on the outside of it. And it's either because they're not willing to do the work that it would take to get to that level. And that's fine. I'm not judging anybody who's at that point, because I get it. Or it could be that they just decide, actually, you know what? I don't give a shit about being absolutely shredded or having massive legs or arms or whatever it might be. It's like, cool. And what good coaching really looks like is adaptability as well. You know, breaking down a program into phases. Like, let's say with my guys, it depends who they are, but like the phase would be anything from 4 weeks to 8 weeks. And then let's mix things up a little bit. I think at the beginning, particularly, if I work with life, I think my sort of average, I hate using the word about my clients average, but hopefully you understand the context that I mean. If I take my average client who day one, he started working with me, right? They don't have a whole lot of gym experience in the level I'd want them to. So what I mean by that is, they've been to the gym, but they don't really know what they're doing in the gym, you know? And for me, that's a case of, we've got to, like, actually the first phase is really stripping it back to basics, getting rid of all the beliefs, the fake belief systems, the BS from their brain, and sort of rewiring it. So that's a 4-week phase, right? And then maybe second phase could be another 4 weeks, it could be 8 weeks. So hopefully you see my point. Like the 90% of the coaching is very much up in the head. It's rewiring this bad boy. Cool. That was way longer than I thought it was going to be, but I feel good about that one. So if you liked it, you know what to do. Hit that little button. First 100 subscribers get Lambos and jets. Well, not jets, actually. Jets is a lot. Maybe like a speedboat or a helicopter. Let me know. Peace, love. I will see you tomorrow. It's going to be Sunday. Cheers.